Okay, well, the story is called Shutter. My name is Gordon Linzner. And just a brief paragraph or two from it. She recognized his clothes. A plaid, high-collared overcoat, green scarf, shapeless wide-brimmed hat, and the camera, always hiding his face, always aimed at her. She never came near or spoke. Confronted, he ran, but soon returned, clicking away. She should call the police, but why? For taking pictures? Well, this story, as you might have gathered from what I just read, is about a woman being stalked by somebody taking pictures to the point where she gets freaking out whenever she hears a camera clicking, which already tells you I wrote this story over 20 years ago. And I started out with a series of mundane actions, but with an insertion here and there, they let the reader know that something is off. About halfway through, I upped the stakes with the second threat. Seemingly resolved both threats at once, but you could tell it's not over because the story's not over yet. And I also was aiming, particularly in this one, I wanted to try for a story that ended with a single word. In this case, a sound effect. To let the reader fill in the consequences that follow. Well, there's a lot of techniques that come into play as you develop as a writer, trial and error, sharing in a writer's group, studying favorite authors, same everybody does. But in my case, another major factor was starting a small magazine as a teenager, publishing it for over 40 years before passing on to others. Reading slush, seeing where other writers failed or didn't come quite up to speed, helped me find the same flaws in my own writing. I also learned rejection doesn't necessarily mean a story is bad, but that's a different story. I would say if you're trying to get a tense situation, you want to keep it tight, focused. Urgent short sentences are best. And keeping the description down, you want the key elements of the description in there, but you don't want it to ramble and talk about, what color the walls are or something, unless that's significant. You drop slight hints during your narrative without actually telling you what's going on. That can be just as effective. Oh, there's so much to choose from. It depends on my mood, the day of the week, and so on. If you ask me on a different day, I'd come up with different names. So just get a couple current references. I'd say the recent television series Lupin does a really good job. We don't know all the details of his plan, so we can't tell when things are really going wrong, or if he already planned for those to go wrong, so that we can tell whether something went wrong with his planning to go wrong. And sometimes they do. I also thought that Wanda was a really great example of this very slow build. Something is off, but we don't know exactly what, and apparently neither do most of the characters. Okay, well, as I see it, the narrative suspense develops over the course of storytelling. Tension is just one element of the suspense, although it can be a key one. Narrative suspense has you anxious to see what's happening next. Narrative tension puts you inside your character's head. Sometimes the tension is because the character doesn't even realize the danger. As an example, the Hitchcock bomb under the table trope. But horror, on the other hand, doesn't really fits here because I go with the Douglas Winter definition, which is horror is not a genre, it is an emotion. So it's a part of the tension, but it's not in and of itself the storyline. I would like to say I just did a reading of this story for the New York Horror Writers Association, and they've got people are welcome to take a look at that as well. I to thank James Chambers and Caroline Gazanda for asking me to participate in that earlier this week.